underway. Close to returning, but still not ready just yet. Luka Doncic, he tried as he might with 35, but unable to have enough on the defensive end. LeBron with 19. Austin Reaves just 15 on 6 of 16 shooting, but a really well-balanced attack for the Spurs on this night. Time now to bring in CBS Sports NBA analyst John Gonzalez for the last two quarterfinal games. We'll start with the Spurs and Lakers. And John, this San Antonio team, we know they're not playing at full strength, right? And the way they looked on this night, the West should look out, right? Because it wasn't like it was just one player dominating. Everybody had their hand in this win where they could not be stopped on offense.
Yeah, they've been really good. I mean, you expected, or at least I expected, that they'd have a little bit of a fall off with Victor Wembanyama out of the lineup. That's what happened last year, Chris. This year, though, without Victor Wembanyama, including tonight, they're 9-3. This is a really good team. I mean, Mitch Johnson has done an excellent job, as you mentioned, spreading the ball around, sharing the love. They had 6 players in double figures tonight, led by Stephon Castle, who went for a double-double with 6 assists. De'Aaron Fox put up 20. Mitch Johnson was mic'd up in today's game, Chris, and he kept telling them, push the pace, right? They're fast, they're long, they're athletic, they're young, and they were just too much offensively, and especially on the break, for the Lakers. And that bench scoring, there's a big difference between these two teams when you're talking about how many players are involved with the Spurs. They get their entire bench involved. They outscored the Lakers bench by 20 tonight, 48-28. And the only reason why the Lakers were even in reaching distance of the bench scoring was because Marcus Smart was unconscious and had 26 points. If it wasn't for Marcus Smart, this game would have been an even bigger blowout than it was. So the Lakers got into it a little bit in the fourth quarter of it. That was a total team effort. A little bit of a cliche there, but really true for the Spurs. They looked excellent tonight.
No, they look great. Perhaps they could give OKC a test. Now, before we get to that matchup, LeBron James, that dunk on Luke Cornett in the second quarter, What is?
He's 40 years old, Chris. In just a few weeks, he's going to be 41. And I know that everybody keeps saying, well, you know, time waits for no man, and Father Time comes for everybody. Does it? For this guy, you got to ask whether or not that's actually true, and how much longer he can play is really going to be up to him, even when his athleticism really, truly drops off. And we saw in tonight's game and in this season so far, since he's been back from injury from the sciatica, that it hasn't really changed much in terms of his athleticism. Even when it does, though, again, he goes for 19, 15, and 8. The other night, he had 11 assists. I mean, he can distribute, he can rebound, he can push the pace, he can still get those chase down blocks. The guy is fantastic, and he can play for a number more years if he wants to.
Yeah, it's very scary for the league. I'm sure they're hoping one day, or sooner than later, LeBron will be out so they don't have to face him, because he is still a locomotive. Now, in the other quarterfinal matchup, the Thunder destroyed, demolished, and just diced up the Devin Bookerless Suns. A 49-point win, to tie for the best 25-game start to a season, going along with the Golden State Warriors when they won 73 games and only lost 9. In your eyes, and maybe there isn't a way, but how do you stop them? Because, yes, I know they had no Devin Booker in the Suns, but this is a team that beats people consistently, whether you have your star players in or you don't.
Yeah, there's no flaws with this team. There's no weaknesses, Chris. As you mentioned, they're 24-1, tied for the best start through 25 games in NBA history. They have the 5th best offensive rating, and they're the #1 defense in the NBA, again, for the second year by a mile. They improved on last year's #1 mark by a significant margin. Here's the other thing here, Chris. Last year, they set an NBA record for margin of victory. They beat their opponents on average by just under 13 points per game. That was the most that had ever happened in NBA history. Chris, they're blowing that number out of the water. They're beating opponents by an average of 17.5 points per game. That includes tonight's blowout where they beat the Suns, the poor Suns, by 49 points, Chris. I mean, you look up and down this roster. It's not just SGA, the MVP from last year. He's been fantastic. Of course, he had 28 points in 27 minutes tonight. Jalen Williams, he's back. Chet Holmgren, he goes for 24 and 8 tonight in just 25 minutes. He might be the defensive player of the year, Chris. Then you look on the perimeter. That defense, this is why they're so difficult to beat, because it's not just how many different ways they can beat you offensively. In certain situations where the offense isn't clicking, well, good luck, because that defense always does, right? They guard two-way man on the perimeter. You're looking at SGA, Jalen Williams, Kayson Wallace, Lou Dort. Here comes Alex Caruso off the bench. And then they've got that extra offense when they need it off the bench with AJ Mitchell and Aaron Wiggins. There's no holes in this team's game. You said, how do you beat them? Only one team has. That was the Portland Trailblazers, and that was on a night when they didn't have Jalen Williams and Lou Dort. So, like, good luck. I guess you just hope that all their starters are going to be out.
So are you saying, like, why even bother playing for the Spurs, right? Do they have a chance even if Victor Wembanyama is able to play in this game? I know anything can happen, so let's not disrespect these teams, but the way they're playing, I don't know if the Spurs are going to be able to win. Like, hang with them. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to that semifinal matchup. And as you mentioned, Victor Wembanyama is very close to returning. He went through a full workout today. The Spurs said that he's close. That's the game we all want to see, right? Don't we want to see that on Saturday in Las Vegas? Wemby makes his triumphant return. The Spurs are playing really well. They've won 7 of their last 10. As I mentioned, they're 9-3 without Victor Wembanyama. They're obviously a much better team with Victor Wembanyama because of how much he improves and levels up their defense. I wouldn't say that they have no shot. No, of course they have a shot. Oklahoma City, this is going to surprise a lot of people, Chris. They're not going to end the season with just one loss. I think that the Spurs would be motivated. They'd be pumped up to have Wemby back. There'd be a lot of eyeballs on everybody, a lot of money on the line, as we know, in the Cup. I think it would be a fantastic game. Now, obviously, Oklahoma City Thunder are going to be favored in that game. People are going to have, it's going to be in Vegas. We're probably going to have some money on that game, but I would not count out the San Antonio Spurs. They're having a fantastic season, especially if they get their guy Wemby back.
Right, because I think a lot of people, or some people, count them out against the Lakers the way they were playing. Right, no Wemby, you're thinking, okay, Luka, Austin, right, LeBron, they're going to anchor this team, and they don't, right? They're not able to come up with it. So, yeah, anything is possible for the San Antonio Spurs, especially if they get their superstar Wembanyama back. All right, John Gonzalez, appreciate the insight, man. Thanks so much. All right, so we have our final 4, the Thunder and the Spurs, and then on the other side, the Magic against the Knicks in Vegas for the right to play for the NBA Emirates Cup title. And coming up, we will show you LeBron.
All right, welcome back to Access. Spurs and Lakers tip things off at the top of the hour, and tonight marks the return of veteran guard Marcus Smart. He's averaged 9 points, 2 boards, and close to 3 assists in 14 games this season. Not long ago, he spoke with Mike Trudell.
All right, Marcus Smart, kind enough to join us here ahead of the NBA Cup quarterfinal. And I know for you, you must just be excited to get back on the court. It's been 6 games as you've been working on getting that back ready to go. So how do you feel this morning when you got to the arena, and then after this workout just now?
Definitely felt really good this morning. And, we just continue to top on with just now. And everything's looking great. So, we've been working real hard in the training staff to make sure, we get everything I need to be prepared to play. And, they've been doing a great job, so I'm ready to go.
I know you were locked in on the Lakers while you weren't playing these last 6. Just what stood out the most to you of the things of, okay, when I'm back on the court, this kind of thing is going to be handled?
Just defensively for us, me being, one of the leaders on that end, kind of getting everybody back settled down. Yeah. Reassurance, guys know they can look to me, ask me questions and where they're supposed to be and the coverages we're in and what we're going to do. So I would have to say that reassurance.
And I suppose that since you played early in the season and had success, that kind of just you being you is what the team wants out there, right? So I guess just getting on the court is what the team needs.
Exactly. Me being me, everything that I bring to the game, it's one thing, off the court, but it's another thing to be on the court with those guys, in the battle with them, going through it with them. So definitely getting me back on the court.
All right, so the Spurs team, the first time that you guys played them, a little bit more of a defensive team. Of course, Wemby was on the court. They've turned a little bit into more of an offensive group now these last couple of weeks with De'Aaron Fox and Wemby out. So certainly your skill set's going to be needed tonight. What do you see from their guards and how tough they are?
Definitely. We know how tough those guards are, especially De'Aaron Fox. Everything that he's accomplished. We understand that. We understand it's going to take a full team effort and everybody's out there. Even though Wemby's not out there, they do a good job of playing together and making sure that they, put pressure on teams on both ends. So we got to go out to protect the ball and, protect our basket, obviously.
All right, last one for you. Just the added stakes, right? Win this game, and then you get on a flight on Friday to Las Vegas for the semifinal. Just add a little bit of juice for you? For
sure, definitely. It's one thing fun to play, but when you got extra incentive like going to Vegas to play in a game like this, it heightens a little things for you. So we're excited and we're ready to go.
Welcome back to the court, Marcus. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Marcus Smart returns. It's been a few weeks since he has played. Maybe some rust, but he's a pro. He's a vet.
It's a tough one to come back to.
You know how dialed in he is. Well, what do you expect tonight from him, Danny? Like,
I mean, I
what are you
expect
hoping
the
to
grit
see?
and grind, but he is rusty. He's been sat out 6 games, I think, right?
Yeah.
So,
well, last time
come
was
back
November 25th.
In your first game, be a matchup with De'Aaron Fox. And he's the league leader on points per game in the cup games. Yeah, that's going to be a tough one. So hopefully he can get a chance to get his legs under him, maybe start off with a different matchup, even with Vassell. He's a really good player. You might start off hopefully Harrison Barnes, but you can't start off with the offensive guys guarding him, right? You can't have Luka guarding Vassell or AR guarding De'Aaron Fox, so it's going to be his matchup. You also got LeBron James, so it's going to be a lot on his shoulders to start the defense. And after 6 games, hopefully he's fully rested and the back spasms are good. But this is a tough matchup for him to come in, his first game back.
Yeah, as long as he's physically healthy and able to go, that's one thing. But yeah, I mean, he puts his body through a lot his whole career. He's always been rugged, physical. So the stamina part, and how long can he, keep that going over a game. So yeah, it's nice to have him back. He'll definitely make an impact when he's on the floor. It's just a matter if he's has the win and can keep up with some of these younger legs.
Yeah. So the Spurs have the last 2 rookies of the year. Stephon Castle, Wemby, right? This year they have Dylan Harper, 2nd overall pick. He's a great rookie for the Spurs. He's now playing. We didn't see him last time. He's averaging 13.5, over 20 minutes. I'm excited to see him play tonight. What can you tell us about him?
He's starting to come alive, man, at the right time for this group. Last game, he had a really good game against New Orleans. Game winner, getting to that right hand. He's great at finishing around the basket. Very much like his dad, long arms, big hands. Plays at a good pace, takes his time, big, strong body. But yeah, good footwork, uses high IQ, knows how to he can finish right and left hand. Working on the jumper, but the jumper is pretty solid too. So again, if he becomes, it's a perfect situation for him to learn behind a De'Aaron Fox. Being there, they're both lefties, and De'Aaron is such great at picking and choosing his moments and spots, and learning also how to get to the free throw line. Obviously Dylan is not as fast as De'Aaron Fox, but he is somewhat athletic, and he can do some things at the rim that most point guards can't.
Big game, B. Moore, our producer, was out there talking to Big Ben. They were putting something together so we can see it. It's a split screen of father-son right there. Big game.
Cooking it up.
There's Ron Harper.
Hey, man.
He was great when he came to the Lakers, such an awesome player, and his son, man, like father like son.
It's awesome, man. Ron Harper is actually one of my favorite players of all time, just personality-wise. I remember when he was with the Clippers, dude.
Remember that?
He was with the Clippers, and then the Cleveland, and then he went on to win the championships.
And then to the Bulls.
Ron was the goods man back in the day. He was. People forget how good he was. And when the Bulls got him, he was an all-star before the Bulls got him.
Great for that team too. And then the Lakers, he was a veteran presence.
And the other thing is, in his last few years, Phil Jackson brought him here. Not to play as much, but to hold the locker room together. He had Kobe, all those guys. He also knew the triangle very well, and he knew how to coach that. But just to have him in the locker room as a veteran.
I got a chance to know Ron as an older. I said I idolized him, watching him as a kid because I watched the Bulls all the time. But I've got to meet him, talk to him, because Dylan actually, fun fact, played with my younger brother.
No way.
And I've seen Dylan play since he was freshman, sophomore in high school, and I knew then that he was going to be very good.
He was tagged at that point.
He was very good. He was ahead of his years. He was at his own pace, smart, mature, high IQ, but can do what he's doing now. Finish with both hands, pretty athletic. I was like, this kid's going to be a pro.
Young talent off the charts, and the Spurs keep getting the top pick. Luka Doncic leads the league at just over 37 points per game. Austin